Welcome to Soul Purpose Healing. I'm Viata, your host for tonight, and we are live in Blog Talk Radio Studio. And Blog Talk Radio has been kind of on and off, on and off. So I want to start off tonight just welcoming our female solution, Blog Talk Radio family, with this beautiful global greeting.
Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Absolutely. We want you to talk to me and us here in Soul Purpose Healing. Welcome, everybody. And I want to welcome my YouTube family as well, Viata's Tiny House Village. I love my village. Mwah. And so, of course, I have created a welcome in the tiny house genre and energy that gives you, my listeners, a little bit of what I have journeyed through the last almost 10 years now. This is my life. This is my life. That was a show at one time. This is my life. Tiny house living. Minimalism. I don't want a lot of clutter. I don't want a lot of hoarding. I don't want none of that. So here's a tiny house journey to maybe inspire you to do the same. Yes, yes, yes. That's my journey for the past almost 10 years now. And yes, the cow and the horses were a big part of my residence for 5 years in my first tiny house on wheels. I had cows and horses on either side of my acreage that I lived on with other people, of course. But I'm so grateful, grateful, grateful to be able to live now in a renovated shed in my son's backyard where I can interact with grandchildren and my oldest son. Now, the topic for tonight was really generated because of my grandson, my 8-year-old grandson. And let me just put that up. My 8-year-old grandson is an amazing teacher. And that's why I'm sharing with you about overcoming pain, moving beyond the pain, because he taught me such an important lesson. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to share that with you, a big part of it. And I spent the day on the beach with him and my granddaughter and my son and his girlfriend. So I'm all tanned up and I got lots of vitamin D going in this body today because my back is very tender right now because I was in the water with my grandson for almost 2 hours, I think. It was wonderful. And then when my 2 hours were up, I called his dad, okay, take over. I went to this amazing restaurant on the beach, had me a glass of wine and a big salad and some sweet potato fries. How about that? Ooh, delicious. While I watched the ocean breeze, the ocean waves, and live music was playing. And one of the songs they played was "I Left My Heart in Havana." Oh my goodness! I was so high. I was just on a high at that point because it had been an amazing day. So before we get into more of moving beyond the pain, yes, I got some very wise words for you, and especially about becoming your own president. I'm just speechless with the week's activities in our government. I have Billy Carson's going to say it all for me. And I'm going to encourage all of you to become your own president because they're treating you and us like fools right now. The whole shebang of politics and government is looking at the American people as fools, in my opinion. So let's bring in our ancestors because these are the days. These are the days when we need lots of help here. We need lots of help from our ancestors because this is the most insane, got to be most insane period of our journey. Oh my goodness. Can it get any crazier? So Becca Shea is one of my go-tos. Where did she go? She always disappears. Becca Shea is one of my go-tos to drum in the ancestors. And I want you, if you're listening, if you're here, to get your drum. We need help. We need lots of spiritual help because the people who are running this government have lost their effing minds, in my opinion. And they're treating us, the American people, like fools. Really, that's how I see it. So let's bring on Becca Shea and a wonderful group of musicians and drummers and singers to help us invite our ancestors here tonight because this is not just three-dimensional activity. And we're no longer leaning on five senses. We got to go to multi-dimensional, multi-senses, and no better way to do that than to bring in the ancestors and let them help us. Here we go. Let's get your drums and let's drum it in with Becky.
And has blood has ransomed people for God. From every tribe and language, people, every nation. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. It's your time to rise and shine. Wake up up, you sleeping giant. The wounds of injustice are being healed by the peace of Yahweh. It's bringing us power through unity. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. Tribals come alive. Yeah, wake up, you sleeping giant. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, your heartbeat. This is the hour to know whose side to stand by. Raise up the standard in battle for every fellow tribe. Our warriors are fighting. There's a revival igniting. Search for such a time. Yeah, arise, you blazing fire. Brave and stand firm and listen to your destiny. The rhythm of our Father moves with victory. Where warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. So God, and arise, blazing fire. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, your heartbeat. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, your heartbeat. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, your heartbeat.
All right, all right, all right. We are ready to go now. We're ready to go, ready to go. Ancestors have spoken. They are here, and you are here. We've already got a comment here from Guadalupe Vanderhorst. Hi, sister. Hey, sister. She says, agree. Thank you. Gracious. Hallelujah. And our sister Zelda from Monday Morning Mindfulness is here for show. Wake Up Planet Earth. Teach my sister. So let me get into my 8-year-old grandson's lesson for the day and for the week, in fact, the life. Okay, so my 8-year-old grandson is a great teacher for me, great teacher. And I give him all the respect, but he's starting to give me respect for a change. And it's difficult when you have a divorce situation where the kids are coming back and forth, coming to my son's house, going to their mother's house. And then we have to undo things that mom does at her house because they come back here and they don't want to be disciplined, blah, blah, blah. So what happened yesterday was my grandson fell off his bike. I mean, he crashed off his bike. We were on our way. We were packing up to go to a bike trail. Everybody, we were going to get on a trail. And everybody, all four of us, my grandson, my granddaughter, my son, and I were going to ride our bikes. Well, my grandson decided, well, I want to ride while you all are we're waiting for you. I'm going to ride in the street. I'm going to ride on the sidewalk. Well, he crashed. We don't know how it happened, but he crashed and burned so hard. I mean, he has a wire on his teeth, braces. His lip was stuck to the braces. He had a cut under his nose. He had cuts on his elbow, his arms, his leg. I mean, what leg didn't get affected by he just had scrapes everywhere. So he was just screaming, oh my goodness. And his dad was like, well, I didn't even know. His dad said, well, I'm gonna have to peel your lip off your braces. I'm like, ooh. So pain. Talk about pain. It wasn't funny really at the time, other than he really raised hell about being in pain, to the point where he said he wanted to kill himself. Now I'm like, okay, hold on a minute. We're going to extreme. All right, I can understand the crying, but talking about, I think his dad said something about, well, it's gonna hurt, and we have to do this. And he's like, oh, I want to kill myself. I'm like, oh, what happened here? Where did we go wrong? So dad patched him up, aborted the whole bike ride family thing. That was aborted. We had to peroxide and treat all the wounds. It was just really sad in a way, but bleeding and all that. Treated the wounds, and then dad let him sit on the sofa with his tablet and watch his favorite cartoon after that, because he was in serious pain. Okay. So the pain thing, really, I started thinking about, whoa, how does pain make someone say, I want to kill myself? I don't know. Some of you have probably been through that. I know some people who have had some serious pain in their life, and they probably thought about leaving this planet. But a fall on a bike and bruises, you want to kill. Okay, so my mind, the next day, I think, or the next morning, we went to the beach this morning. Even after all that, we had liquid bandages everywhere. We had this plan for a while. And I'm standing at the sink early this morning thinking, I know some of my sisters are going to disagree with me, because we've had this discussion about spankings for children. My grandson and granddaughter have not gotten a serious spanking, and they're 8 and 10 years old, because I'll tell you why. One of the reasons, because their mother had a very abusive father who beat them, alcoholic father, beating them up, and no consciousness about the whippings or the spankings. Okay. And I'm standing there at the sink thinking, some kids just need a spanking just to experience pain. I mean, really? You're going to kill yourself because you're in pain? As I said, there are some levels of pain where I don't blame people for saying, I'm out of here. I can't take this anymore, especially adults. Some pain is just so serious. And I can think of one person who's a regular participant on this show, who's been in so much pain that I wonder if she's had thoughts of taking her life. So it is a thought, right? So, but my grandson and falling off your bike, how many of us have fallen? So his dad gave him a really, really good talk about what happens if you fall off your bike. You just got to suck it up and get ready to get back on the bike again. So this is my thought again, was some kids need a spanking. I've always said this. Conscious spanking. Now, I know some disagreement. In fact, one of our female solution hosts wrote a book about beating Black kids. That's the name of her book, Beating Black Kids. And the book is really well written. Lots of excellent points about beating Black kids, not spanking, but beating and abuse. That's what we're struggling with in our society sometimes, is beatings and spankings. And it's a thin line between abuse and whether this is the correct way to discipline children. Now, what I saw this morning, for the first time, my grandson said, yes, ma'am, to me. I'm like, what? I have never gotten that level of respect from this young man. So that's, again, what made me think, okay, sometimes kids just need a spanking to feel some pain, because we're going to deal with this in videos too, how the psychology of healing a shattered soul. I got one And then how can you manage chronic pain by Eckhart Tolle. And Eckhart Tolle talks about how sometimes pain is meant to destroy the ego. If a child, for instance, has a huge ego, they're very arrogant, disobedient, all that, sometimes a little pain with some conscious conversation. Let me emphasize that. Conscious conversation can help that child be a whole lot better, in not in the only in childhood, but like my grandson was a whole different person today after all that pain. He got over the pain. Dad talked to him and encouraged him and made him feel better, and we loved on him and we loved on him. And then today it was like totally different child. Yes, ma'am. I didn't even ask for that. He said, yes, ma'am. I said, get out and get on the trampoline before we go to the beach. Yes, ma'am. What? Respect showed up all of a sudden just from one incident of pain that was brought on by a bike ride, a bike falling off. Now, some might say, well, you should just let those things happen naturally. You don't have to spank them. I'm just saying, conscious spanking is in my book now. Conscious spanking. Kids need to. How many people are on opiates? Okay, we got an opiate epidemic. Probably in my mind because some kids were abused instead of spanked consciously, and some kids went through traumas that brought them to a place of opiate addiction. I had a friend on Facebook for a long time who was grieving over the loss of her son, who died of an overdose of opiate. How did that come about? Well, he went to a dentist and had his wisdom teeth pulled or something, and the dentist gave him opiates for the pain. And guess what? The opiates kept going after the pain in the mouth subsided. This kid needed more opiates for emotional stuff, in my opinion, not just physical pain. And then there are some children. I have another friend on Facebook whose son got into a serious opiate addiction after he was shot. He was shot by a woman. He spent several days in the hospital, almost died, and then they prescribed opiates. So the body gets inflamed after an incident like that. And it's hard, challenging to overcome that inflammation without pain meds. So I'm not discounting the fact that chronic pain, acute pain, sometimes needs medication and sometimes needs a little bit more and is going to be healed more than just having a spanking when you're young. But I'm just saying, this is my point this evening. Pain, inflammation teaches us something. And for my 8-year-old grandson, he learned in 24 hours how to give respect to his grandmother. Moi. So I'm just grateful. And then the time that I spent with him in that water, this is the part of the pain I want to emphasize. When you do have pain, you need a radical change in your life to overcome the pain. That little boy got healed in the beach water for 2 hours. The little bruise the little scar under his nose was practically gone by the end of the day today, because all that salt water that he just loved, he can't get enough. He can't get enough of the waves and the water. So thank goodness he has a passion for the beach and water. He'll stay in that water forever. And he stayed in there for hours, didn't want to eat. He had breakfast, but he didn't want to eat. So that pain, that pain was a blessing to everybody, to me and everybody. And his big ego that he's had all these years just like shrunk. It shrunk into this very loving and caring and considerate and compassionate child. When he said something in the beach water today, that this water is so thrilling, or something. He used an expletive to describe the experience he was having in the water. And from then on, it was just, I almost cried just hearing this 8-year-old describing his wonderful healing experience at the beach in the water. That's why I say this young man is the best teacher in my life, I think, because he's alerting me, teaching me, showing me what happens when a child of his nature, he's very bright, very smart. He even told me he was my grandfather in another life. So this is not your average child. And then for this pain to come on him like it did, is we've never had this experience with him before where this much pain was carried on. And it just switched him over to this most respectful, caring love. And we didn't lay a hand on him. But I think the Heavenly Father is teaching us that pain, inflammation in the body can be very transforming if it's met with consciousness, loving consciousness, and teaches the child what is pain for. What's the purpose of pain? What's the purpose of pain? My friend Mama Z can tell us the purpose of pain. She's been through it, and many people who've had chronic pain, they can do that. But an 8-year-old, I'm just so grateful, so blessed to have this child teaching me things that it's not like I wasn't aware of it, but it's like, man, people, well, you shouldn't spank children ever. And I'm like, well, maybe. No, you should never spank a child. Well, yeah, you better think about conscious spanking, because you don't want children to grow up without feeling some type of pain that has a conscious response to it, that teaches them how to respond to pain, how to deal with pain. Because now he knows. He said today in the car going to the beach, he was saying, well, I understand now that I'm going to ride my bike every day. He was going to give up riding. And then Dad talked to him. He said, I'm going to ride my bike every day. And if I fall off, I'm just going to get up and keep going. Woo! Out of the mouth of babes. So let us take a look at, what time is it? Okay, we got a little time. Let me take a break. I hope you, if you have any response to what I've just said, please, by all means, write your comments in. Press 1 if you're in the Blog Talk Radio studio. We want to hear from you today, because this is a controversial message for some people. They don't want to hear this. Spank that child with consciousness. I'm saying with consciousness. We're not talking about beating anybody, abusing anybody. We don't want to put any bruises on a child. But anytime a child is out of sync, out of alignment with the Creator's wisdom, love, conscious spanking, and then spend time explaining to them what pain does to a person. Let me take a break. When I come back, I'll take your call, 336-350. Got your hand up? I will take your call. And then I have a message from Eckhart Tolle. He's one of my favorite authors. And he talks about how you manage chronic pain. That's what we fall short on, some of us. And the pharmaceutical industry is just ready and willing to help you with some opiates. Oh, lots of opiates. They got opiates all around to help you get rid of your pain. And that's what some people need. But I'm talking about when we're training up children in the way they should go, we got to consider pain now, because there's too many people addicted to the pain. And we want to help our children understand pain, what it's for, why we have it, and then know how to respond to it and resolve it. So let's take a break, and when we come back, I'll take your calls and any questions or you may have. But we want to just let this show today be an enlightening, educating, awakening show for us to especially help our children improve in every single way. We'll be right back after.
Have you ever wondered why some of the healthiest people still get sick? Or why the occurrence of learning disabilities like ADHD have drastically increased over the last 50 years? How is it that the cancer rate has gone from 1 in 8,000 back in the 1910s to 1 in 2 today? Isn't it odd that even though we are more focused on health than ever before, that there's still been an increase in diseases, disorders, illnesses, and other conditions that destroy your quality of life? What if we told you that the very things you're using in your home to avoid these health concerns are actually what's causing them? If you're the decision maker in your home, you know how overwhelming it can be to keep your family safe. Today, we'd like to welcome you and simply provide you with some important information and shed some light on some health concerns you may not be aware of. Over the last 100 years, thousands of toxic chemicals have been introduced into society because of an excessive overstock of chemicals designed for warfare in the Second World War. Today, as the 2013 documentary The Human Experiment states, quote, 42 billion pounds of toxic chemicals enter into commerce every day. That amount would fill up 623,000 tanker trucks. And as we speak, there are over 80,000 such chemicals on the market in the US. Over the last half century, chemical usage has gone up by 2,000%. And it isn't until there are enough people hurt by these products that there are even questions raised. Does this sound familiar? On July 12, 2018, the well-known grocery store brand of talcum and baby powder company, Johnson & Johnson, was ordered to pay a $4.6 billion lawsuit. As it was said, they knowingly covered up asbestos in their product for over 40 years, and we have been trustingly using it on ourselves and our most precious of all things, our newborn babies. As parents, we work hard to keep our families safe and healthy. We diligently try to choose the best brands at the grocery store for our families. After all, keeping a clean home is an important part of good health. But is it possible that cleaning your home is dangerous? 7.3 million American couples have trouble conceiving or carrying a pregnancy to term. This is a 49% increase since 1988. Recent studies have shown that babies that do make it to term are being born pre-polluted, with up to 28 harmful chemicals in their blood, with indicators that over 400 more were present, all without ever eating food, drinking water, or even breathing air yet.
So we have a toxic environment, first of all, from Washington, D.C. That's why we're talking about becoming your own president. There's so much toxicity in our nation's capital that I am just speechless after this week's activities of bringing in a war criminal and applauding him. Who does that but our toxic government? So that's why we're going to talk about becoming your own damn president, because it's out of control in Washington, D.C. But I have a comment here that is just perfect from Dr. Guadalupe Vanderhorst. She was my guest. And Dr. Guadalupe, you made that comment at 833. That is such a significant number for me. I was born into 833 East 47th Street. I see 833 everywhere I go all the time, every day. The 833 pops up. So that number is very significant. I pay close attention to anything that comes up around that because it represents to me a presence of angelic messengers. You, my sister, are the angelic messenger of the moment at 833. And she says a child can experience psychological pain as well as physical pain. Let me tell you, the first psychological pain my grandson experienced was when his parents divorced. He was only about 2 years old. Talk about pain. And he has been, in my opinion, processing that for the last 6 years. And that, I believe, is why his behavior has been sometimes very disrespectful, disobedient. because he's been in psychological pain. Thank you, Dr. Guadalupe. And then this physical pain showed up for the first time. He's never had physical pain like this before, but he has been in psychological pain for the last 6 years. Thank you, sister. And she said, and both are types of pain can be difficult for a child to express these feelings to others. I love you. I love you. Love you, Dr. Guadalupe. She just summarized the whole, my grandson's last 8 years. He has had a very, in fact, what he has said, when he would get upset, he would just leave me alone. Leave me alone. He would leave me alone. He didn't know how to express it, sister. So that is why we need to start early with children, helping them express themselves in their psychological and physical pain, and helping them understand what pain is all about. And you're going to hear from Eckhart Tolle. I love you, Guadalupe Vanderhorst. You're wonderful. 833, that messenger sent her in here to give us that message. Yes, the difference between psychological pain, physical, and how children don't know how to express it sometimes. But when you fall off your bike and you got blood bruises, he was expressing it like crazy. I don't like this. I'm in pain. I want to kill myself. Yeah, okay. Stop, pause, listen. We had to just stop and listen. And that's really what it takes, maybe to avoid the conscious spanking, is to listen. But sometimes they just need to feel the pain just so they know what pain feels like. All right, let's do it. All right, Mama AZ. Let me open up your Mama AZ. Your mic is open. Go ahead, sister.
Oh my God.
Yes, go ahead.
You just cannot make this up, family.
I know.
Can you hear me, Dr. V?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what is your grandson's name?
Jonah. It's spelled Jeohana. It's not the regular Jonah as in the Jonah and the whale, but it has a different, but we pronounce it Jonah.
Okay, spell it again.
It's Jeohna. So you would say Jehona. It's a Korean name. His mother loves Korean drama.
Slow up. It's Jeohna.
I think N-A. Yeah, I think that's how it's spelled. Jehona.
Okay. First of all, I would like to take my hat off, little brother Jonah. Am I saying it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because you set the day off, little brother, with your grandmother. Do you know, Dr. V, today is a 7?
Yes.
You are 7. I'm a 7. And not only that, the 833 is a 5. That also, and thank us, Dr. Guadalupe. Oh man, you have no idea of how confirming this is to dreams that I've been having. And thank you, little brother Jonah, because did you not say, Dr. V, that he spoke out of his mouth that he was I think your dad in another life?
He was my great grandfather in another life. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dr. V, that little brother is so on point.
Yeah.
I bet my life on it. He's telling you the truth.
Oh, yeah.
And this is another thing. I'm so grateful. That's a big 10-4, little brother. And this is from Mama Bonfire, AZ. I'm sending you hugs because you came back by way of your dad and your mom, baby. When you hear this again, you may not understand it now, but when you hear this podcast again, you're going to say, whoa, Mama Bonfire, you are so on point. And he's 8. build or destroy infinity and the whole 9 yards. And what I'm hearing, Dr. V, you and that little brother had an agreement and you said this happened today, or was it another day?
Today. Yeah, he fell off his bike yesterday. Today we were at the beach all day.
Okay, so this was yesterday. So yes, that was a 6.
Right.
Humanity, working for humanity without monetary gain. Oh, this is deep. Brother Eddie, where are you? The numbers, brother. I can, oh man, thank Dr. V. I love you.
Love you
little
too.
brother.
Yes.
And I'm sending you hugs, child,
Yeah.
because I was in so much pain. And there have been moments, Dr. V, that I have wanted to leave the building, meaning cross over.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, God, I cannot take this. So I get through it. Like today, I was just, but I'm not now. And hearing about your grandson, Jonah, it's bigger than a triple dose of B12. I'm serious, sister, and I know I must be doing something right because you and I are back together again.
Yeah.
And we're both 7s. And Jonah is in the house teaching not only you and I, but that little brother, oh, good Lord have mercy. You are a teacher. And Mama Bonfire loves the freaking bejesus out of you. I love you, little brother.
Thank
us,
us.
Dr. V.
All right. And we'll get back. We'll come back to you, Mama Z. Dr. Guadalupe is asking, do you know anything about your great grandfather? No, I don't. In fact, I don't even know which side he's talking about when he says that. I don't even know my father's father. And I certainly didn't know his father. And then I only knew my grandfather. I didn't know my actually, I've seen a picture of my great grandfather. I have a picture of my great grandfather on my frame, actually. Oh, that's scary. That just saw. Thank you. I know I don't know a lot about him other than he was a Native American on one side. He's got a very dark fit skin, and my great grandmother had lighter skin. Anyway, thank you for that question. That's thought-provoking. We're going to listen now to Eckhart Tolle talk about how to manage chronic pain. He brings up some very interesting points and spiritual perspective on this, because Soul Purpose Healing is all about evolving into your soul journey purpose and evolving into the fifth dimension, and evolving into other dimensions, and thinking about we don't just have 5 senses, but there's more than 5 senses. So let's take a listen to Eckhart Tolle talking about how can you manage chronic pain. Let's do that.
So what to do, especially if you've already tried a lot of approaches. It's always easy to speak for somebody who is not experiencing physical pain. At the moment, I'm not experiencing physical pain. I have known pain, but not prolonged period of time, not physical pain or a prolonged period of time. But I know suffering. There is such a thing as conscious suffering. Obviously, you should continue to seek ways of alleviating the pain or finding a cure. But in the meantime, while it's there, I suggest that you explore the possibility of conscious suffering. That was practiced, for example, in Christianity, and it may still be practiced by certain people who are strongly identified with the Christian religion, but it was a very common thing in Middle Ages. to when you had pain, to equate your pain with the suffering of Christ. Christ was the archetype of suffering. Whether you see Christ as a real person that lived, I believe he did, or whether Christ is a mythical concept, it can work in the same way. Christ is the archetype of suffering and of transcending suffering. In the same way that Buddha's teaching, he himself described, Buddha said, I teach suffering and the end of suffering. The literal words of the Buddha. I teach suffering means I show you how suffering arises. The end of suffering is the transcendence of suffering. Jesus didn't say that, but it's all contained in his life and the image of the crucifixion and the cross. Because the cross is the instrument of suffering. It's a torture instrument. And then you see the God nailed to the cross, or the man nailed to the cross. It is the archetype of human suffering. In that sense, one could say he represents every man and woman, because every man and woman goes through their suffering, whether it might not be extreme physical pain, but it is human suffering, some more extreme than others. And then he died, and then the resurrection happened, and then the cross, the torture instrument, the very thing that gave him the pain, symbolizes the divine. So it becomes a portal into the transcendent dimension. By completely surrendering, which is the image on the cross, is the image of total surrender. And that is, in some traditions, called conscious suffering, which is, you don't need to necessarily, if you're not a believing Christian, it would be hard for you to say that you are suffering with Christ. But there's a deep truth in here, and that is, and I have seen it in people that I have known, people who have had pain for years, it can, if used consciously, it can erode your ego completely. If you regard it as a fire that's burning you up, the false you, it burning up. And so conscious is to actually not to resist it psychologically. It doesn't mean you cannot seek a cure. You can take steps, but while it's there, to see it as a purification, because it has the potential of completely burning up your ego if used consciously. And that is for those people who you might as well practice that, because that's all that's possible for you at the moment. If you then see there's a healing method or a healer somewhere, why not go there? But in the meantime, you practice conscious suffering. So that is not only with physical pain, you can also do it with other situations that you may be in. Suffering arises, and you come to a complete acceptance. If you completely accept, in a way, we really, to be strict, we should differentiate between suffering and pain. Normally, the way I use the words are, suffering is the psychological pain that is generated through resistance. So if you suffer physical pain, it can be terrible, but you can have physical pain without suffering, meaning without any resistance, psychological resistance on top of it. That's the suffering. And that applies to not just physical pain, but any situation in life, anything that goes wrong. There's the suffering is the psychological layer that is created through non-acceptance. So that does not need to be there. That is a practice. So we all, most humans on the planet don't have a spiritual teacher. They wouldn't even want, they haven't even heard of anything such a spiritual teacher. What's that? But they all have their suffering. So I say that everybody has their spiritual teacher, and for most humans, it's their suffering, because eventually the suffering has an evolutionary function that is both the suffering that seems to come to you out of nowhere and the suffering that is self-generated in your mind and through unconscious action in the world, which then draws to you further unconsciousness from others. Nations, for example, go to war. That's unconscious action, then drawing further suffering to themselves. So there are two kinds of suffering. One seems to come out of nowhere, and other suffering is obviously generated through unconscious mind activity, and it is that kind of suffering that creates all the atrocities on a collective level and the personal drama that people are engaged in on a daily basis that is ultimately completely unnecessary, but it is generated by unconscious mind activity and the egoic self, which is mind-made. So that's the suffering that. Now, if you look at the amount of suffering that humans encounter, you will see that the larger part of suffering that humans encounter is self-generated. Yes, there is suffering that happens through earthquakes, natural disasters, and illness. Illness is already on the borderline between self-generated and something that just comes to you. Many illnesses are self-generated through dysfunctional thinking and emotion. But if you look at the amount of suffering that's self-generated, it's far greater than the amount that seems to come to you from the outside. If you look at the history of the 20th century, especially the first half of the 20th century, how many people died through natural disasters or died prematurely through an illness compared to the people that were murdered by their fellow human beings. Far more were murdered by their fellow human beings in the 20th, especially the first half of the 20th century, than people who suffered through natural disasters or natural causes. Just amazing. It was hell for millions of people, 150
And this is some
50 million, who knows the exact figure, who were murdered in the first half of the 20th century alone. Many of them, not even many, yes, between nations, but millions and millions of others murdered by their own governments.
This is some very deep knowledge and truth. I hope you're really paying attention. And I even see where my grandson fits in on this very conscious suffering versus unconscious suffering. But let's just listen to the last 3 minutes of this.
In Russia, in Germany, in China, by insane governments murdering, or as in China, bringing about through absurd policies the starvation of millions. So if you have in any doubt about the dysfunction of the egoic mind, you just look at that history and see how much suffering humans generate for themselves. So that is something that we no longer do, and that's why we are here. We don't do that, and there's still a certain amount of suffering that will come to us. Now, there is a belief, especially New Age people, they will tell you whenever something happens to you, you fall ill, or you have an accident, or whatever happens, they may ask you, why did you manifest that? And that makes lots of people angry, understandably, because they say, I didn't manifest this accident, it just happened. There was a crazy driver, and he comes coming towards me. There's nothing I could do, I didn't manifest it. Or I didn't manifest this terrible illness, I never wanted it. What are you saying? Therefore, I never say, did you manifest it, or you manifested it, or you should look into why you manifested it. Why not leave it alone? All I say is, whatever happens to you, once it's happening, accept it as if you had chosen it. That's the important thing. I'm not saying you chose it. You won't want to hear that. And it's not even literally true. There's some truth hiding there, but we don't need to go there. It's more important to choose whatever is happening, whatever is happening in this moment, or as if you had chosen it. And then the resistance goes.
All right, now, Mama AZ, your mic is still open. I'm wondering what your thoughts are about his teaching. If you want to respond to that, because that's some deep thought there. If you admit that on some level you chose it, then the resistance goes away, and then that might help the pain and suffering. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of
correct. I've been with Tolle. I was introduced to him, I believe, in '84.
Okay.
In North Carolina, through a meditation group, and the people, Deborah and Robert Winfrey, who are relatives of Oprah, and myself were the only people of color in this meditation group. Everybody else was Caucasian. And when I learned about Eckhart Tolle, I was quite upset in the beginning. I was a newbie when Deborah, Robert, and everybody else said, you chose this. You chose to come here with the alcohol fetal syndrome issues. You chose this. And oh my God, it took years. And when my chiropractor said to me, I was 33, and he said to me, he said, Robbie, it's none of my business if you want to tell me to stay in my place. But I've never seen x-rays like this in somebody so young. Your x-rays are of a 60 or more person, and you're only 33. And he says, I'm not sure, but I think this has to do with alcohol. And he says, you're getting ready to drive back to Arizona. This was in North Carolina. And he said, just kind of ask if you don't mind. And if I'm out of place, let me know, Robbie. And I said, no, Dr. Watkins, I'll do that. And Dr. V, when I went home and I had this reasoning with my dad, he started crying because he told me that my mother had the opportunity to consume alcohol that was $100 a bottle, but she chose to drink the 25-cent rock gut stuff when she was carrying me. And it took a long time for Eckhart Tolle and Dolores Cannon and all of those, and Deborah and Robert Winfrey and the other Caucasian people. Oh man, I mean, I wanted to shoot him.
Yeah.
I said, why would I choose this journey? And they said, but you did.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of studying with Eckhart Tolle and every brother and his cousin. And it's true. When I finally got my head wrapped around it, it's true. We choose our parents, and he's right. You chose this. And that, many times, Dr. V, I have to go there with myself, and I said, why in the fuck did I choose this? What is the lesson that I need to learn from this? I have to say it over and over and over until my whole mind, body, and spirit calms down, because sometimes I'm in so much pain, and I'm saying, Creator, teach me what it is. And I never will forget Minister Cynthia. Her openness helped me a whole lot. Coming out of the closet with the Ascended Masters and everything. And her being frank about her dad and the challenges that she had, the molestation, all of that, it helped me. We do choose, because our souls need this teaching. That is why I'm here in Cochise County.
Yes.
It's a lot going on with Miracle Valley and the people in Chicago.
Yeah.
I chose to be a part of all of this, and he's right. He's to me, it's my opinion. Many people, especially goddamn Christian people, with all of this bullshit that they flow with, it just pisses me off.
Well,
But
Mama AZ,
that's
yes.
the lesson that we came here. Excuse my French. I just had an episode earlier today, and I didn't mean to say, but I'm grateful that I came in this copper colored body, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything, as somebody's calling me.
Okay.
But Dr. V, I'm grateful.
Well,
I'm grateful.
yes.
I'm grateful to have the experience of Eckhart Tolle and Dolores Cannon and Cryon and Matt Kahn. All of these people are Caucasian, okay? But it's time that we, as melanated beings, come out of the closet. Like, what's the little girl, that lion girl, that she's just as cute as a bun. You know what I'm talking about. And she's pregnant, and she's just so cute. But she is a tall being in her teachings, and she's young.
Okay.
Eric, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, but okay, so
the little.
I can't think of the
Anyway.
name, but anyway, thank you so much for your response and reaction to Eckhart Tolle. I'm going to take a commercial break, and if anyone else has a question or comment, please press 1. And if you are in the StreamYard, Facebook or YouTube, by all means, write your comment in, and we'll be right back after this message.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On-Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
Yes, that's why I'm here. I want to hear from you. This is when I don't have a guest on my show, I really do believe and feel like you are the guest. All of you listening, you have an opportunity to tune in, chime in, and give your opinion and your comments. So that's why we're here. Now, if you're just joining us, I started out sharing what happened with my grandson who fell off his bike. He fell off his bike yesterday and just got really bruised up, cut under his nose and bruised up all over. And he was just hysterical or just crying really passionately. And at one point he said he wanted to kill himself. I'm like, whoa, hold on, buddy. He just fell off your bike. It's not that serious. And his dad was just so patient and so loving with him. My son is a great father, in my opinion. But he really took the time, doctored him all up. We canceled our bike ride on the trail because that wasn't happening after that accident. I mean, he was bruised up all over. And we had bandages and hydrogen peroxide. So what it occurred to me this morning as we prepared to go to the beach was that children need conscious spanking. Because my grandson, and I want to show the comment by Dr. Guadalupe that was just so powerful about the difference, that the pain that children experience. She says a child can experience psychological pain, which my grandson experienced when he was 2 years old and his parents divorced. That was some serious pain, I realized, and he just demonstrated it with his behavior, and as well as physical pain. And she says, and both are types of pain can be difficult for a child to express these feelings to others. And my grandson has had all these years very hard time expressing his psychological pain. And he would go into, don't talk to me, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. That was his response to emotional disturbances or triggers in him. So this event, though, just transformed him. The physical pain, I think, coupled with the psychological pain that he's been had for all these years, transformed him into a more respectful child. He was saying, yes, ma'am, this morning. I'm like, what? Never, ever have I heard yes, ma'am from this child. Yet this morning it happened. And all of a sudden I'm hearing him. He's telling his sister, well, grandma said that, so we need to listen to grandma. I'm like, who is this child? So there was a transformation that took place from all that pain. And I'm of the opinion now that children need conscious spanking that helps them understand what inflammation and pain is all about. And as Eckhart Tolle said, the inflamed state of either mind or body is burning up or purifying us. And if it's our resistance to the truth, he says, that on an unconscious level, we brought this on ourselves. Now, you don't have to believe him, but as Mama AZ said, it took her a while to get that teaching. And I believe there's so much truth to that on an unconscious level, we create the pain that we go through. And I'm sure my grandson took off on his bike and he was trying to stand up on his bike, and that's how he fell, he said, but in any case, it was a divine event that taught me something, his father something. And even when I said to his father later on that day, or today, actually, I said, you know, before summer's over, we're going to have pain management class, because that's what was missing in that moment when you hear an 8-year-old say, I want to kill myself because I'm in pain. So, whoa, got to have some teaching here. So, and okay, so we're going to segue into making yourself your president. As Eckhart Tolle just mentioned, one of the reasons we got so much suffering in the world is these insane governments. Let's just put the United States of America right at the top, at the insane governments that are causing suffering and pain all over the world. Oh my goodness gracious. So when I heard this teaching or this rant by Bill Clark, or is it Clark? Let me see, Billy Kent Carson. Oh my goodness, it resonated so much with me. I said I got to share some of that, because that, yeah, how to become your own president. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%, because I was so fed up with Netanyahu, aka coming to this country and being applauded by our insane government. I'm like, I just don't have any more words for this government. I'm just sick of it. But I realize we have to respond to this type of insane behavior that our government is demonstrating on a regular basis. And Billy Carson said it so well. I'm going to play part. He did a whole hour rant, but I'm not going to play the whole hour. In fact, I'll probably skip over it. But you got to hear this man he's making good sense of this insanity that we are witnessing by the government. And I, for one, am ready when November comes around, go in that booth and write my name in there, because you all are crazy. So let's listen to some wisdom from Billy Carson.
Afternoon for 3 p.m. for the red carpet. I want to take a picture on the red carpet with as many people as I possibly can. And then after that, you know what's happening. The Forbidden Conscious Awards that evening. We're giving away amazing awards in amazing categories. And we're going to recognize incredible people helping to uplift humanity worldwide. So it's going to be a big, big day, big event. Let me just make sure I get these text messages out so we can make sure everyone's getting these notifications. Let's just make sure we get all these notifications out. And that's the mindset we're going to talk about tonight. I think it's important to talk about this mindset tonight, because you see what's going on behind me. You can see part of the bird, the left wing and the right wing. But guess what? There's only one bird behind me. There's only one bird. It's the same damn bird. It's the same damn bird. No matter which way you flip it, toss it, it doesn't matter. I remember when I was down in Miami, living in Opa-locka, and the area I lived in was called the Bermuda Triangle. That's because that was one of the most deadliest cities in Miami. And at that time, there was a steel gate around the city in the shape of a triangle. Unincorporated Dade. It even has its own Wikipedia page. Cops would not come on the inside of that. If a cop had to come there, it was because the crime happened hours ago and was already over. I remember Jimmy, what's his name? The peanut farmer, right? What was his name? Jimmy. He was running for president again. And I said, man, what's going on here? I was laughing. And my mom said, what's so funny? And I said, man, listen, Jimmy Carter's running for president. We're living in the most toughest, roughest area. Crime, we just saw last week, one of our neighbors get shot in the face. The body laid in the street for 5 hours. The neighbor down the street, they had a knife fight. One cut the other over 100 times. Dead body over by the train tracks. They're selling drugs at my elementary school, Rainbow Park Elementary. The crossing guards robbed me on the way to school. The crossing guards robbed me and my brother on the way to school. Either the money or your lunch. Remember, crossing guards back in I'm talking about the 1970s now. I'm aging myself here, guys. The crossing guards weren't adults, they were kids. So if you were a kid that was in a higher grade, like 5th or 6th grade, you had a chance to request to be a crossing guard. They just put them in a position of power to bully other kids, which is probably why they took it away from kids and put it in the hands of actual adults. Meanwhile, I'm thinking all of this in my head, and I'm looking at this presidential election garbage on TV, and I'm saying to myself, this is ridiculous. And my mom's like, what's going on? What's so funny? I said, how long are y'all adults gonna fall for this scam? How long? And she said, what? I said, come on. Do you think that this hood, this ghetto we're living in is gonna get any better? Do you think it's gonna get any better was my question. And the answer was no, it's not. As a matter of fact, I drove through there about 6 months ago. It's worse. It's absolutely worse. And it's always about, we're gonna do something, and we're gonna visit the Black community. They go to all the Black churches, and they walk the Black streets, and not a damn thing changes. I mean, nothing. Even when Mr. Obama was in office. Everybody's still licking the Wonder Cheese off of his sacks, ain't they? This guy did nothing for Black people. Absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, more Black people got lynched by cops than in the Willie Lynch era under his watch. But what he did do is he lined his pockets with a lot of illegal money, having illegal wars using taxpayer dollars in Africa with his good friend Hillary Clinton when they went to Sudan and displaced 250,000 Black people, men, women, and children off of their land with our military dollars, using our military that's supposed to be protecting our freedoms. And they displaced those people off their land because they had resources there. An illegal war was waged that most of y'all never even heard of. This is why he can't land. If he gets on an airplane and land.
Okay, I'm going to pause that. I've got Zelda telling me that she can't hear. So Mama AZ, your mic is open. Are you able to hear what I'm playing here? Or anybody?
I am Dr. V.
Okay, let me go to 706-202. That's our brother Kwame Sumhurst. Are you able to hear the audio?
Yeah, I was hearing you playing Billy Carson.
Okay, thank you. I don't know. Maybe it's on Facebook. Let me go back to StreamYard. Is anybody else able to hear? Okay, Guadalupe says yes. Zelda, I think maybe you're the only one who's not hearing. I'm getting Baltalk is hearing okay. Oh, she says we can hear now. Okay, maybe it was a glitch. All right. Be sure and post your comments. We're listening to Billy Carson helping us understand why we need to become our own president. Because as Eckhart Tolle said earlier, our government is totally insane. And this visit by Satan Yahoo, the war criminal, and our government applauding him was like the tip of the iceberg for many, I'm sure, and me. They are totally have lost their effing minds.
Over there right now, they're going to lock his ass up. Black people are going to lock him up. They protested against him not even ever coming back. Why? Because he then allowed private corporations to take that land and rename the area South Sudan. That's why South Sudan is only 13 years old. That was the work of good old Obama and Hillary Clinton. They did a damn good job. Meanwhile, 250,000 men, women, and children starved to death and died in the wilderness. Why? Because they were hung out to dry by, quote unquote, the president of the United States, waging fake drug wars and fake wars on other countries and wars for resources. That's all they do. See, the presidents themselves, they don't have any power over anything within the United States. None. The only thing they're allowed to do is line their pockets with a lot of damn money. And I do mean a lot of money. Obama came into office with a fake $3 million net worth and left with $100 million real worth. Why? Because he was able to line his pockets. He had the whole real estate collapse where all that money from the government funneled through him and went to, instead of the people, went straight to the banks that screwed the American people in the first place. And he took the submarine money on the take for that, to give them the money, not us. But when it comes down to really having power over the states, they have zero power. And I mean absolutely none. And if you didn't learn that from the whole COVID-19, then you didn't learn anything. Because the president was saying, Biden was saying, I want everyone in every state to get the Jabberwocky. I want everyone in every state to wear the thing over their face. And guess what? Some states, like the state I live in, said, man, get out of here with that garbage. We ain't. Matter of fact, we're going to claim it illegal to get it. We're going to say that if you get this, you're waging war against my people. That's what DeSantis said. He said, man, take off that stupid thing off of your face. We ain't wearing this stuff over here. Everybody go back outside.
Go to the beach.
Everybody take your ass back outside. It's dumb. So what does that mean? The only power that the president actually has is over making illegal deals to make money outside of the United States, like Biden did with Ukraine. Also, they have the ability to control Delaware and Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia. That's it. They have no more power. The CIA don't answer to the president. The FBI don't answer to the president. None of the three-letter agencies answer to the president. They can give a damn about what a damn president thinks. Now, that wasn't the way it was supposed to be established and set up. There's black budget programs running using trillions of taxpayer dollars right now that we're not privy to because the Pentagon gave the contracts to private corporations, and those black budget projects are running with no congressional oversight whatsoever. None, zero. The people who actually own this country, which is us, and the government, which is supposed to be our servants, have flipped it on us in our mind. They're pimping us, and we think that they own us. We actually are supposed to own them. They steal our money, and they put it into these black budget contracts, and they siphon trillions of dollars away, and they're all on the take. All on the take, like Halliburton, $33 billion. Dick Cheney, and George Bush Jr. and Obama, all that money they chopped up on that fake war out in Iraq over the fake attack. The attack happened, or the attack definitely happened. They really had a 9/11, but you never find out who really did 9/11. If you want to know who really did 9/11, go to my TV network, and for free, you can watch Billy Carson Uncensored on the Forbidden Knowledge TV app. And I break it all the way down. I name places, people's names, sources, and everything on Billy Carson Uncensored. Just get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app and watch Billy Carson Uncensored, and you'll find out exactly what happened. Then they took that, went to Iraq, created this fake war, started blowing up and putting those people into dust. And then they took Halliburton. Since the company is, we got the contract to go clean up the war. So now we're going to go rebuild Iraq. They built 3 gas stations and 1 school and a half of a hospital for like a damn near $1 billion. The rest of the money, they pocketed that money, never to see the light of day again.
Okay, so I'm going to fast forward on this one and let you hear the end of his president's rant because it's important. And so, if you're just joining us, we went from sharing with you about my grandson's pain and how he transformed in 24 hours to be more respectful to me, especially, and to just be more humble. So I promote now conscious spanking because he was in psychological pain for a while. And he has been blessed, I think, with a father who really takes the time to be patient and loving and explain everything to him. We're at a point with this child where we listen and we look him in the eye and we listen more than anything. And then we explain our point of view. And then we leave it to divine authority to help him grow. So let me go to the end of this rant that because he gives some solutions. Billy Carson doesn't just rant about all this corruption and the insane government that's causing pain all over the world, but he does give some solutions.
Yourself. Work hard on yourself. Train yourself. There's no reason for anyone out here right now in today's world, unless you have a mental disability, which does exist, there's no reason for people outside of them to say that they can't learn something new, that they can't develop themselves and work on themselves and become better at specific things. There's no reason. We live in the age of information. Ignorance is a choice. It's an absolute choice. Period. It's an absolute choice to be ignorant. You have no excuse. Work on yourself. The next thing you have to do is you have to become financially literate. You can't be walking around out here like a damn dummy when it comes to finance. There's too many people. I'm a contributor to Entrepreneur Magazine. The articles I've written have all been about financial literacy. Why? Because we need it. The lack of financial literacy is one of the biggest reasons that Americans are suffering on this planet. Not only Americans, other people worldwide. But right now we're talking about being the president of America, the president of your life, as above, so below. But guess what? If you don't understand the money matrix, it's over for you. Just dig a hole and jump in it. Stop it. I'm no good at numbers. I can't learn. And these are the same people that can tie their shoes. If you made it to adulthood on this planet, you can learn some damn financial literacy. You just don't have a passion for it and you don't want to dig into it, so you haven't put any energy into it. But guess what? If I told you that they've abducted 2 of your kids, and if you don't learn the information for some financial literacy, whatever they call it, whatever topics they want you to learn, within 2 weeks, when we come back and take this, if you don't pass this test, they're gone. I guarantee you 99% of the people are going to pass that damn test if they had no other option. So the next thing after that is stop making excuses, because nobody cares about your damn excuses. I could have been a billionaire already a long time ago. I'm on my way to becoming a billionaire now, but a long time ago, I had a real good shot. I wouldn't even be on this video right now. I wouldn't even be sitting here right now. But I made an excuse about having a flat tire, not getting to a meeting. And because of that, I lost one of the biggest deals of my life. It turned out to be $1 billion deal because I made an excuse because I was too lazy to change a damn flat tire. Stop making excuses. The next thing, Get in touch and in tune with your damn family, not your extended family, the people in your damn household. If you don't have anybody in your household, fine. Surround yourself with 5 powerful people on the same frequency as you. You can't be the smartest one in the bunch either. Somebody better bring something to that damn table. Somebody better bring some knowledge. You can be an expert in one area, but they damn well better be an expert in some other area. So you guys can have a two-way conversation and you can feed each other knowledge and information and support one another. If you're around a bunch of dummies, get the hell away from them. If you're around a whole bunch of people that always got problems, get the hell away from them because it's contagious. If they got a problem for every solution, then you need to get the hell away from them and stay away from them because they're a virus. It don't mean you got to hate them, but do not let those people infiltrate your circle, period. We got too many people out here letting all this infiltration happen, surrounding themselves with people that don't bring anything to the table, or not even getting in tune and touch and in the right frequency with their own family. And they wonder why everything is the way it is. But yet they want to run down and vote for a damn president. They don't got shit right in their own household. How are you going to vote for a president and chase after somebody else's ball sack and you ain't got nothing going on in your own damn house? Your house is destroyed. Get your act together first before you chase after some idol. And the last thing you got to do is stop playing this crappy game they've been set up for us. This game has been running since time immemorial. It's an ancient game that's been running since the Sumerian tablets were discovered. You can look in there and find that they've been running this whole game, this distorted game on humanity for thousands of years. Who do you think invented the bicameral Congress? It came out of Sumeria. Who do you think invented this whole political left-wing, right-wing system? It came out of Sumeria. It took over the whole planet and is still running till this very day. At some point, the people on this planet need to stop falling for all these divide and conquer tactics. Start realizing that the people are supposed to have the power, not the government. They are supposed to be our slaves, but they have us slaving for them, don't they? Me included. It's supposed to be flipped the other way. We're supposed to tell them what we want to be, what we want done, what we want the policies to be, what we want to execute, not execute in terms of new laws and old laws and getting rid of laws that don't serve us anymore. Producing better court systems, producing better judicial systems and methods, producing better treatment of inmates and prisoners that actually rehabilitates them, not turns them into new age slaves. But we can't do any of that. We can't achieve any of that because as soon as you go outside, the person you see is your enemy. The person you see is your competition. It's all about consumption, competition, no collaboration. If we want to manifest the new world, we have to do what I wrote on this shirt. You see this shirt? CT multiplied by A equals M. That's conscious thought multiplied by action equals manifestation. If you want to manifest a new world, you're going to have to put conscious thought behind it in collaboration, and you're going to have to put action steps behind that to manifest the world that you want to live in. Action is going to create the new world. Non-action is going to keep you enslaved in your mental and physical prison that you're in right now, with the illusion of choice that you really don't even have. Period, point blank. All right? Anyway, guys, I'm Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. I'm looking forward to seeing as many.
All right. I hope that was inspiring, motivating, encouraging for you to become your own president. I know that's a radical idea, but if you are not frustrated or sick of seeing the division and the insane behavior of our government. Oh my goodness. Division, and then just crazy behavior. A war criminal in the halls of Congress being applauded. Yeah. So we have to pass the popcorn, as I always say, because this is a big show. And as Billy just said, it's laid it out. You're the person who has to become sovereign in this journey of foolishness. We have got to start listening to people like Billy Carson, in my opinion, that will inspire you to get financial training, become more conscious about your thoughts and actions, and most important, pay attention to children in our lives who are the next generation. I, as I said, I'm blessed to have someone in my life who's just mind blowing in terms of helping me grow and the behavior that he demonstrates that transforms him and so much more. But if we listen to the children and then take time to teach them the things like Billy Carson is saying, then we're going to recreate a new world, because these children are our future. We've got to start paying attention to these star seed children on the planet right now who are going to make a difference. And let me see, I got a few comments here. Zelda, tomorrow morning, Zelda is going to be talking about why America spends billions on war, zero on homeless, unhoused. Tomorrow, Monday morning, mindfulness, 7 to 9 a.m. Central, on YouTube and Higher Learning Network. And she also says, wow, that's a discovery. All the information, awesome. I didn't even know, I never knew as much about Obama's behavior as president, but listening to Billy Carson and people like him, you learn just how crooked his presidency was and how he created more suffering and pain globally. He did a good job of presenting himself as a new person in the White House that we'd never seen before. But oh boy, was he wreaking havoc and pain and suffering all over the world. So we're wiser now. Thank goodness we're wiser, smarter. The color of the person's skin running for an office doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As long as this system is still in place, it's going to be corrupt. So we've got, let me see, I thought I saw some hands up. Yes, we've got some hands up in the Blog Talk studio. Let me go to 262-833. Your mic is open. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight. What sayest thou?
Thou sayest much love, better love, peace and blessings, my sister.
Peace and blessings.
How you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, Brother Eddie Harris. Welcome. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Listening to the show and taking notes as usual. And I just wanted to chime in when you were talking about it might seem strange to get out and vote for a president or vote for anybody, because you are the president of your own thought. And just to break it down to people understand that 833 that you connected to, that's your angel, well, when you realize that 833 comes to 5, well, this is what I'm always revealing and sharing with the family, the 5. And president comes to 41, which is a 5. Thought. Your thought is 41. Your thought is your president. We're giving too much energy, too much power, conversation on some knuckleheads. I'm not going to get deep into it, but we already know it. This 41, this 5 should pique your curiosity. Curiosity is 41. We have the authority, not the president. We give them the authority because we give them what so-called vote. We voted them in. No. Authority is 41. The authority comes from your thought, family. And that thought starts from the top of your temple, called your brain. Brain is 14 to 5. Temple is 23 to 5. It's being able to really see the game that they have hid through the occult language of English. And by the way, occult is 23 to 5 and English is 32. They've used it brilliantly, but it's time because revelation, which means to reveal is 23. Everything has to be revealed before the judgment day that's actually happening actually happens. We have to be shown. It has to be revealed. So everything is coming to fruition. Everything like the manifestation. Your thought is your manifestation because manifestation is 32. It's the 5. As a man thinketh that thought, so is he. So we're giving too much power to these crazy people that we have been tricked into thinking that we have selected who is already, or elected who has already been selected, because I don't want to take up the time to tell you about this so-called shooting with Donald Trump, because it's all on the 5, family. When we really look at the date that happened, because it parallels July 4th, and this July 4th was 248 years, which is a 5. And the original July 4th, 1776 is a 5. Donald Trump got shot on his right side. Right side comes to a 5.
Wow.
More important, it was his right ear. Right ear comes to a 5. Right is 30, ear is 11. 30 plus 11 is 41. Right side, he had 5 agents that came up and huddled around. People, come on, we ain't seeing what's right in front of us. It's hidden in plain sight. But it's letting us know what's going to happen in this so-called presidential selection, not election. But with that, peace and love, because love is 14, that's on the 5. That's what I always want to leave with. Love you, family.
Oh wow, love you too. What a powerful energy to think about all the 5s communicating to us and reminding. Remember, we are gods and goddesses who have amnesia. That's what I forget who brought that statement out. Gods and goddesses with amnesia. So all of this, what Brother Eddie just said, reminding us who we are, sovereign beings here to make a difference, and especially the children of this generation, the younger children. We got to listen to them. We got to listen to them to guide them to a new world. I don't know, Kwame, your hand is up. I'm not sure if that was from the previous time or you wanted to comment this time.
No, you asked if anybody here was Billy Carson. I was just chiming in to say that I was listening to you.
Okay, thank us. And I will go back to Mama AZ because she wants to be heard again. So Mama AZ, your mic is open again.
Dr. G?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to segue in on a proposal. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, we must have a show on a special day with Brother Eddie Harris, the numbers guru, because my dad told me about him when he was transferring to the other side of the veil in 95. And today is the 7th. And Brother Eddie, you go with your damn self. I just like, you just can't make this up. But something is getting ready to happen. And here in Arizona, it's happening everywhere, but especially here in Arizona. And I just can't talk enough about it. It's huge, family. And so I'd like for you to consider Dr. V, with Brother Kwame and Brother Eddie Harris. And the little girl is named Erin Lyons. Yeah, I sent you a video.
Okay.
That's who I'm talking about. She's just a little cutie pie. And she's so brilliant to me. It's just my opinion. And she is complicated. You know, we gotta get off of this how do you say it, indoctrination of this BS Christianity stuff. And let's get real down to the bone with truth, family. Thank us.
Thank us indeed. And our sister Habib Ullah, who I met with in Atlanta, and who has been on the Soul Purpose Healing with the brother from the Synchronistic Human website, bringing us into a new calendar. And her comment was, "Wow, that was loud and profound. I agree." And she says, "I always say, don't allow the government to govern over your mental health. Now it's walk in your own governance." Hallelujah. Ken 178. We're Ken 178. And we are really Kens right now. Sisters on the journey with all of you who are here tonight. So grateful to feel the energy of conscious people tonight. I want to do a little meditation with Born of Water tonight, so that we again synchronize the consciousness that's here tonight, and the love and the wisdom that's here tonight. And that's what is going to change this world. Our government is conscious people like ourselves coming together, talking, communicating, having healthy conversations, and moving forward with meditation, not medication. So let's go into a little meditation together. Born of water, cleansed and purified, and reminding our God selves who we really are, to catapult us into this new journey of consciousness and continuing to evolve. We are here to evolve. Let's close our eyes if you want, and just breathe in the energy from this music, from this meditation.
Cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born of water, cleansing, powerful, healing, changing. I am born
And let's just keep it going. One more meditation, breathing in and out to affirming words of who we are. Breathing in and out, taking in truth, love, wisdom, consciousness, rising.
Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water,
Breathe
my
in,
blood,
breathe in and out.
air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. I like to sing to the earth, I like to hold her. She likes to sing to me, she likes to hold me. I like to sing to the earth, I like to hold her. She likes to sing to me, she likes to hold me. I carry fistfuls of leaves. I make love to the breeze. I carry fistfuls of bones. I trust they will lead me home. I carry grief on my wings. I know I caged birds sing.
Inhale, inhale.
Through many tons of this
Exhale.
bone, my women have suffered wounds. But my grandmother's with me. Close your eyes, can't you see? And my grandchildren are here. The rose, the crow, and the deer. I am surrounded by light, the light of stories. I need to quiet my mind. I need to listen. We are surrounded by light, the light of stories. We need to quiet our minds. We need to listen. Earth, my body, water, my body, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Water, my body, water, my spirit. Earth, my body, earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit.
All right, and it is time to say good night. And
We've come to the end of our show today.
Beautiful.
If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at
Work on your presidency.
www.thefemalesolution.com.
You are the
On behalf
one.
of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's
And we say
discussion.
thank
And to
you
our
now.
global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
And to all my yogi friends, namaste and Sat Nam. And aloha, aloha to all my brothers and sisters in Hawaii. Keep the faith, stand strong. You can do this. Love you all. Mwah. Have a wonderful life and a beautiful time in the now moment. Yes.